form, and later on again I'll move to the Hessian matrix, and I'm going to link to these two, that how this Hessian matrix will help us to understand the nature of the quadratic form. Okay, so any quadratic form X transpose AX is said to be positive definite, is said to be positive definite if this Q is greater than 0, when X is not equal to 0, and it is equal to 0, Q is equal to 0 when X is equal to. That means for every non-zero value of X, that quadratic form always give you the positive, and if it is equal to 0 we have considered, then quadratic form also comes as 0. So find out this kind of quadratic form, then it will be considered as a positive definite quadratic form. Is it okay to you? Is it okay to you? Now, before proceed to that, let's first discuss about that what is the quadratic form. I hope you can understand that when you are considering this H transpose Hx into H, I'm just considering, I'm not going to consider it for the n case. I'm just going to take for the 2 case, so that you can again deal with this kind of thing. You can see it here, that here the power of H1, and you can see here the power of H1 is 2. Here the product H1 and H2 is coming, so this factor also give you the power as 2. H2 is also 2, so this will also give you 2. So that means in the quadratic form, basically, the factor what you are getting, the terms what you are getting, that will be all come out as a power 2. So if I give you some example of quadratic form first, then again I'll move to that so that you can understand better way. Suppose I'm considering quadratic form as x1 plus x2 square. Is this a quadratic form? Is this a quadratic form? Anyone? So what is the logic of quadratic form? That quadratic form means the power of each and every element what will going to come, that will be always 2, right? So here what you have seen, that here x1 is coming as power 1. So now is it a quadratic form?
No,
Is
sir.
it a quadratic form? No, this is not
No,
a quadratic.
sir.
Now if I change it to x1 square, now is this a quadratic form?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if I add it x1 x2, is this a quadratic form? Is this a quadratic form? Because here again power of x1 is 1, power of x2 is 1, so ultimately the power of this term is also 2.
Yes, sir, it's quadratic.
Okay, very good. Is this a quadratic form?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So have you got the idea about the quadratic form, when the term will be called as quadratic form, when the not? Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? Okay, let's try to think about that, what I have considered already. So I hope you remember I have considered H transpose a matrix. I'm considering, suppose it is A into H. So H transpose means what? Basically, as I mentioned to you, H1, H2, A be a 2 cross 2 matrix, okay, and H is again coming as H1, H2. So which is 2 cross 1. This one is 1 cross 2. So ultimately you are going to get 1 cross 1. And here the power of H1 should come out as 2, because H1 into H2 will come. Power of H2 will also come out as 2. And here also you are going to get a product of H1 and H2. So in the quadratic form, every time the power of the variable will come at 2. Is it okay to you about the quadratic form? When a polynomial will be called as quadratic form? Is it okay
Sir,
to
can
you?
you repeat this part again?
But I'm saying that if you have considered a factor like that, okay, I'm just taking a simple one, ax square plus by square. Here what we are seeing, that power of x is 2, power of y is 2. So here the degree of this, you can say expression is a 2, So that means it is coming as a quadratic form. If I'm going to consider ax square plus 2hxy plus by square, here also the same thing happened. Power of x is 2, power of y is 2, and here x into y is coming. This is also 2, right? X power is 1, y power is 1. So ultimately xy is also a degree 2. So that means this is also a quadratic form. Now if I consider ax square plus 2hx plus by square, this is not a quadratic form, because although x square is coming as power 2, by square is coming as power 2, but here one term is here which power is 1. So this is not a quadratic form. It's not. Is it okay now? When a expression will be called as quadratic form? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So now basically we are going to deal with this kind of expression. And what is the importance of this expression? Later on we are going to proceed. When you proceed further, you are going to automatically understand that what is the importance of this factor. So now we are going to basically analyze some properties of the quadratic form. And the first property what we have discussed, that when a quadratic form is said to be as a positive definite. So it will be called as positive definite if it is going to be greater than 0 for x not equal to 0, and it is going to be equal to 0 when x equal to 0. X basically you can consider as x1, x2, that is n tuple you can consider. Okay. Can you give me one example of quadratic form which is positive definite? Anyone? Okay, I'm giving you the first one. Next one I'm going to ask you. Is it a quadratic form or positive definite? Just take any values of x1 and x2. Take any values of x1 and x2. Is it going to give you always positive one? Is it going to give you always positive?
Yes, sir.
And obviously this is going to be 0 only when x is equal to 0. That means x1 and x2 both are 0. So that's this is a positive definite. Okay. Okay. Second, positive semi-definite. Positive semi-definite. When this is going to be happen? If q is greater than equal to 0 for x not equal to 0, and q is equal to 0 for some x not equal to 0. Is it okay? That means each and every time you are going to get always positive, but some non-zero value of x you are going to get for which q will be equal to 0. Now if I ask you again, example of this type of a positive semi-definite quadratic form. Anyone? Anyone?
Sir, oটা greater than equal to 0 কেন ওটা greater than 0 হবে না?
No, it is not greater because I am saying that this for some not equal to 0, this is going to be equal to 0. For some not equal to 0, this is going to be equal to 0. So that's why for some cases it will be maybe equal to 0 also. That's why I have to put equal greater than equal to 0. This is the extra thing I am saying here. If I mention this part, that means I am saying that also that for some x not equal to 0 must be there, which is equal to 0. That I have separately mentioned here as well.
Sir, so the second part is a subset of the first part.
Exactly. Okay, so can anyone tell me one example of positive semi-definite? Very simple. When I give, you thought that okay.
x1
so
square plus 2x1 x2 plus x2 square.
Okay, very good. That is basically you are saying that it is basically x1 plus x2.
Yes, sir.
Right? Very simple. Dekho. Just take x1 equal to minus x2. X1 equal to minus x2. That means all the values which is negative to each other, they are always going to be 0. And basically these are non-zero values of x, right? For which this is coming as equal to 0. Okay, now negative definite. Any doubt if you have, you can ask me always, please, because these are the very, very important thing. And now we are moving towards some difficult part. And if you do not understand the initial part, it will be difficult for you to understand the later part also. So if you have any doubt, please ask me. Don't hesitate to ask me question. So negative definite. When it will be called as negative definite, I hope now you can understand that quadratic form will be greater than 0, right? When x not equal to 0, and it is going to be equal to 0 when x equal to 0. Now, if I ask you an example of negative definite case, anyone?
minus x1 square minus x2 square.
Very good, very good. Q(x1, x2) equal to minus x1 square minus x2 square. So one thing I hope you have understand that if you have find out any positive definite, then the negative of that function will always give you the negative definite. And other way also, if you have find out the negative definite, then the negative of that part, that is if multiply with the -1, then that will give you the positive definite. Okay, so fourth one, negative semi-definite. Negative semi-definite. So now I hope you have understand that how we are going to form that. Q is less than equal to 0 for x not equal to 0, and q is equal to 0 for some x not equal to 0. Again, if I ask you example, again quite simple.
Minus x1 plus x2 whole square.
Very good. So you can write down here x minus of x1 plus x2. Very good. Now the last thing, which is not going to fall into that both the cases, that is neither positive definite nor negative definite, and in that case it will be called as indefinite. When it will be called as indefinite, if q is greater than 0 for some x and q is less than 0 for some other x. That means logic is simple, that for some x you are getting greater than 0, for some x you are getting negative. So that means obviously we can say that that is going to be indefinite. Again, any example? Several examples are there.
Minus x1 square plus x2 square.
Very good. Minus x1 square. Very good. When you are going to choose x1 greater than as x2, then you are going to get the negative value. And if you are going to choose the other way, that x1 is lesser than x2, then you are going to get the positive, right? So that means you are going to get some value of x which gives you the positive value. For some value of x, you are getting the negative one. So that means that quadratic form is an indefinite. Is it okay to you till now, please? Is it okay? Shall we move further?
Yes, sir.
Now the question is that, okay, we have discussed about the quadratic form. We have understand that when it will be called as positive definite, negative definite, or indefinite, but how it will be connect with that Hessian matrix. Now, I hope you can understand that if you just write down that quadratic form, what you have got in the Taylor series expansion in the form of H transpose capital H into A, that is this matrix A is basically stands for the Hessian matrix H. Now, let us try to understand that if I have the quadratic form, then how it will be linked with that matrix, basically A. So what is the importance of that matrix A to be a quadratic form positive definite or negative definite or indefinite? And to do that, to understand this one, I'm going to take a very simple form of quadratic form so that we can get some idea that how we can deal with the quadratic form by only considering the matrix, or how we are going to understand that when it will be positive definite or negative definite by only just seeing the matrix. You need not to think about that what will be the value of x. To do that, let us consider one simple quadratic form. Already I have given that example, ax square plus 2hxy plus by square. No doubt on that, this is the quadratic form, right? This can also be written as x, y, just see A, H, H, B into x, y. If you multiply these three, you are going to get this. Okay, that means this one is same as x transpose A x. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where A is A H H B. Now again I am going to write down the quadratic form. Q is what? Ax square plus 2hxy plus by square. And can you write down in that way that if you take A as a common, then x square plus 2haxy, okay, plus, and if I try to just factorize it, I can write down this thing as h square by s square into y square, okay, plus by square minus h square divided by s square y square. Okay, no, it should be, yes, h square by a, right? Not a square. I hope why it is coming as a, because when I've taken that outside that, as a is the product here, so it should be cancelled out. 1a will be removed. Is it okay?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, the first, this term is basically nothing but x plus h by a y square. This is nothing but this x plus h by a y square. And the second term, what is coming, the second part is actually what is coming is ab minus h square divided by a into y square. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if we want to think about that when this q or quadratic form is going to be positive, if I ask you that question, when this will be positive? If, okay, just think about the first part. This squared term is always going to be positive irrespective of the value of x, y, h, and a, right? This is only depend on whether this a is positive or not. So q is greater than 0, that means a should be positive. Is it okay? And also, if I have to make sure that this is also positive, because otherwise you cannot make sure that this is going to be positive. So first one, I have seen that this is positive for a greater than 0. And now the second term is also going to be positive because y square is always going to be positive. So only thing it will be depending on the numerator term. So a is greater than 0 and ab minus a square, that should be also greater than 0. Please, any question if you have, you can ask me, please. Is it okay to all of you?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Yes, I'm repeating again. What our aim is to find out, when this quadratic form is going to be positive. Now this quadratic form is going to be positive. Obviously, I'm going to, if I divide it into two parts, first part is this one and second part is this one. So in the first part, this squared term is always going to be positive irrespective of the value of x, y, h, and a. So I'm not going to bother about this term because this is always going to be positive. But as a is a product here, so a should be positive to the first term, to be the first term as a first part as a positive part. So a is greater than 0. I am assuming it. Okay. Now the second part, already we have considered a as greater than 0. Y will be always greater than 0. Y square will be always greater than 0 or equal to 0 because y, if you take any value of y, that is always going to be positive, non-negative. Ultimately, the thing which is going to be positive, that is ab minus a square. If I take ab minus a square also as positive, then this is going to be also the positive one. So quadratic form q is greater than 0 if a is greater than 0 as well as ab minus a square is greater. Is it okay, Orange?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the second part, very important. How this will connect with the term of matrix A? You can see that A, B, H, these are the term coming from the matrix. Now, what is the A? A is the, A is what? A is what? This part. And AB minus A square is what? AB minus A
This
square is nothing but the determinant of that. So that means if I have to check whether a matrix is positive definite or not, I can check only the element of the matrix A. And if I say, if I found that the first element of the matrix is positive and the determinant of the matrix is always positive, that means we can say that quadratic form is also positive definite. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, when it is going to be negative, Q is greater than 0 means what? Now I'm asking to you. Anyone?
A less than 0.
A less than 0, small a is less than 0. Good. And
AB minus
minus
H square is less square than 0.
A square is less than 0.
Less than 0.
greater than.
Greater
Greater
than
than
0.
0.
Yes. If it is less than 0, then this term is coming as positive. And I cannot afford that because if it is negative, then every possible combination of positive and negative value will come. But I have to make sure that this will be always negative. And if I have to make sure that this will be always the negative, first term is coming as negative as A less than 0. So second term should also be negative. Already we have seen that A is negative. So if AB minus A square is negative, then this negative will give you the positive one. So that's why I have to make sure that AB minus A square is greater. That means to be negative definite, Q is should be coming as to be negative definite, A will be coming as negative, and the determinant of the matrix that will be also coming as positive. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you are going to generalize the thing, if you are going to generalize for n element in a matrix or n cross n matrix, so let us consider a matrix A as this is n cross n matrix. I am considering A11, A12 like that up to n A. Now, to find out the nature of the quadratic form involving the matrix A, first we are going to consider its principal. We are going to consider its principal. Anyone? What is this? A1. This. What is it called? Principal? You have done that in the first semester. This is called as principal minor. Right? So what we are going to consider? We are going to consider the principal minor of the matrix A. Okay? And we are going to find out the determinant of the each of the principal minor. So how many principal minor you are going to get? Anyone? How many principal minor you are going to get?
N.
N. Very good. So first principal minor will be A1, which is only A11. A2, which is the determinant of A11, A12, A21, A22. Third principal minor, anyone? A13, right? A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. And by this way, what will be the n principal minor?
A.
A, the determinant of A.
Determinant of it. Yes, very good. Now, when it will be called as positive definite? Now, if I ask you when it will be called as positive definite, if what you have seen, the matrix A will be positive definite if and only if all the values A1, A2, AN are what? What you have seen? A greater than 0, AB minus
Greater
A
than
square
0.
greater. Yes, all are positive. Okay. And when it will be called as negative definite? Negative definite? Negative definite means what you have seen? A is greater than 0, A is less than 0, AB minus A square is greater than 0, and that means it will come into the alternative sign. Okay, so starting with the negative sign, remember that. So the sign of negative definite, if and only if and only if sign of AJ, if we consider the general term AJ, is what? Minus 1 to the power,
1 to the power n.
yes, minus 1 to the power j, right? For j equal to 1, 2, up to. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now if I ask you that when it will be called as semi-definite, positive semi-definite, then
So can you show the expression?
what expression?
Last page.
This one, yes.
Yeah.
Positive, when it will be called as positive semi-definite?
Sir, when A is less than 0 and AB minus H square is also less than 0.
Yeah, but obviously you may think about like that, but also you may, I hope you can understand that what is the logic basically. Semi-definite basically means sum of the parts should come out as 0, right? For
Yes,
x,
sir.
for x and y equal to 0, and if you take x and y equal to 0, this is always going to become as greater than equal to 0. Okay, so semi-definite basically means what is going to be happen, that some of the cofactors, some of the minor will be coming as positive, and some of the minor will become as equal to 0. If some of the principal minor coming as positive and some of the principal minor coming as equal to 0, then we can say that ultimately it is going to be ultimately it is going to be positive semi-definite, but it cannot be negative. Remember that negative we cannot afford, but if it is positive or 0, then we can consider it is going to come as positive semi-definite. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Semi-definite means what? Semi-definite means what? Some x, y you are going to get as not equal to 0, for which that quadratic form is equal to 0, right? We have discussed that semi-definite part. In the semi-definite, what it seems that sum of x not equal to 0 you are getting, for which this is equal to 0. So obviously in that case, it may happen that a is greater than 0, right? It may happen that a is greater than 0, this part is equal to 0. So ultimately you are going to get as obviously equal to 0. So some part you are going to get as 0 and some part it may be positive. If it is coming like that, then in that case you are going to get as positive semi-definite. Same thing happened for the negative semi-definite as well, that some of the part will be coming as negative and some of the parts will be coming as, obviously For odd order, it should be less than equal to 0, right? Because we have seen that for odd order, it will be coming as less than 0. So if the odd order is coming as less than equal to 0, and if the even order is coming as greater than equal to 0, then we can say it will be negative semi-definite. Is it okay?
Sir, this portion, can you please once more repeat?
Yes, yes, I'm repeating again. But I'm saying that any quadratic form is said to be as a positive semi-definite if sum of the principal minors, if they are coming as greater than equal to 0. If I say in general, if the principal minors are coming as greater than equal to 0, then it will be called as positive semi-definite. Because I hope you can see that here I am written that they are positive. But now if I say that they are non-negative, then you can say they are going to be positive semi-definite. Is it okay?
Yes,
For the
sir.
first case. And for the second case, as you can see that odd order will become as negative, and because when I consider J1, 3, 5, right? So odd order will become as negative sign, and even order principal minor will become as positive sign. So if the odd order will become as less than equal to 0, and if the even order will come as greater than equal to 0, then you are going to say that quadratic form is a negative semi-definite. Okay, I'm writing it for you. Third one, if sum of AJ are positive and the remaining AJ are 0, then the matrix A will be positive semi-definite. Okay. So now if you proceed to the negative definite case, also you can write down in that way that if every principal minor of odd order is less than equal to 0, and even order is greater than equal to 0, right? Then A will be negative semi-definite. Is it okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Now, another way also you can find out the positive definite and negative definite for a matrix. And in that case, you can take the help of the eigenvalues also. But sometimes later on I'll show you that sometimes it will be difficult to find out the eigenvalues also, because if I have some 5 or 6 degree matrix, six order matrix, so in that case the characteristic polynomial will be come out as degree 6 or degree 5, and you know that this kind of equation is very difficult to solve. So in that case also it will be difficult for us to find out the eigenvalues. So, but obviously for a small order matrix, for small elements, for where the number of elements are or the number of order is very small, in that case we can use that technique to find out or to check that whether the matrix is positive definite or not. So if you consider, I hope you can find out that how we can find out the eigenvalues. You have to solve the characteristic equation, which is a minus lambda I equal to 0. The determinant of a minus lambda I equal to 0. That give us the eigenvalues, right? So When it will be called as positive definite, very simple. If the eigenvalues are positive, then it will be called as positive definite. If the eigenvalues are all negative, then it will be called as negative definite. And if we are finding that some eigenvalues are coming as positive, some eigenvalues are coming as negative, then it will be called as indefinite. Is it okay? So for the eigenvalues, all the eigenvalues are positive, then it will be positive definite. If the eigenvalues are all negative, then it will be negative definite. And if some of the eigenvalues are positive, some of the eigenvalues are negative, then it will be called as indefinite. And what we have seen that as this one is equal to 0, that is basically depending on this term, because we can neglect the higher order term. Why? Because as I mentioned to you already, when you have discussed about the local minimum, local maximum, that h is a very small number. And as h is a very small number, if I move forward, the power of h will increase. And you know that if it is a very small number, less than 1, then ultimately, when you increase the power, ultimately you are going to get a very small number. So the contribution of those number is very, very small. So that's why we can neglect those terms. Is it okay? Is it fine to all of you? Is it okay to you? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, basically,
Yes.
we are trying to find out the sign of f of x star plus h minus f of x star, and that is ultimately coming as 1 by 2 factorial h transpose Hessian matrix at that point x star into h. Now, what I mentioned to you that this is a quadratic form. And what is the meaning of quadratic form? The meaning of quadratic form is that the power of h that always come out with what? Always come out with what? Power 2. Now, already we have seen that this is called as a quadratic form. And we have seen that when this quadratic form will be positive or negative. Because ultimately we know that this, if this is positive, then it will give us, if this is positive, then it will give us what? Local minimum at that point x star. And if it is negative, then it will become as local maximum at that point x star. So that means the sign of H transpose H star, Hessian matrix into H, if this is greater than 0, then this is going to be greater than 0. And if it's less than 0, then this is also going to be less than 0. So that means ultimately the sign of this will be depending on this quadratic form. And also we have seen that quadratic form sign will depend on that matrix, that H. Is it okay to all of you till now?
Yes, sir.
Now, we
Yes,
have
sir.
already seen that when this matrix is going to be positive or said to be as a positive definite, or when this matrix is said to be as a negative definite. So, what we can conclude now? In the sufficient condition that stationary point x equal to x star to be an extreme point is that Hessian matrix H Hessian matrix Hx at x equal to x star is positive definite when x star is what? Positive definite means that quadratic form is positive. Then what the point x star will give us? When x star is a
Local minima.
exactly local minimum or relative minimum. X star is a relative minimum. And this is going to be negative definite when x star is a
Relative maximum.
very good relative maximum. And obviously neither positive nor negative definite when x star is neither maximum or not, but you can say that this point will give us the saddle point. Is it okay? Is it okay to you?
Yes, sir.
Any question if you have, you can ask me. I'm not going to extend at that class. Already it is 1:15, so I'm not going to extend that class. But if you have any question of today's discussion, what you have done, you can ask me. So ultimately, if I summarize the thing, what we can understand from this, that obviously you have to first find out the stationary point, and we are going to get the stationary point by making the gradient of that function fx at that point x star equal to 0. If I can do that, we are going to get a system of linear equation, and you have to solve the system of linear equation to get the stationary point. Now next, what we are going to do, we are going to check that whether the stationary point gives us the maximum or minimum or saddle point. To check that, we are going to find out the Hessian matrix, and we are going to find out the Hessian matrix at that particular point, the stationary point x equal to x star. And if that Hessian matrix at that point, the nature of the Hessian matrix is positive definite, then the point will give us the relative minimum. If it is negative definite, then it will give us the relative maximum. And if it is neither positive nor negative, then it will give us saddle point. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes.
Acha,
Yes,
if
sir.
I ask you, instead of positive definite, if it is positive semi-definite, then what will be the nature of x star? Anyone? Instead of positive definite, if it is positive semi-definite, then what will be the nature of x star? Anyone? क्या होगा? ये तो सिंपल है, सबसे सिंपल चीज है. If it is semi-definite also, then also it will give you the relative minimum. If it is negative semi-definite also, then it is going to be negative relative maximum. Because if you remember the first class, there I have mentioned that already, that if f of x star plus h is greater than equal to f of x star, so equal to sign is already there. If they are equal, then that is going to be 0. So that's why if it is semi-definite, positive semi-definite also, then also it will give you the relative minimum. And if it is negative semi-definite, then also it will give you the relative maximum. Okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now again, just go through it. As I mentioned to you already at the beginning of the class, this is the part what you need to understand. So any doubt if you have, definitely you can ask me in the next class, because from now onwards, what you are going to deal with, everything will be going to be deal with under the Hessian matrix. So you need to understand the logic, that why I am saying that positive definite means it is going to be the relative minimum, negative definite means why I am saying that it is going to be relative maximum. If you have not understand that part, again just go through the thing what you have discussed. You can again ask me in the next class. Okay, so just mute yourself so that I can take the attendance. Who have entered just now? Okay, one thing I should mention, from the next week, if these online classes still continue, then I may change the platform where I'm taking the class from Zoom to the Google Meet. Okay, so as the instruction has came to me came to the every faculty, that we need to shift to the Google platform to take the online classes. So from the next week, if the online classes still continue, then I'm going to take the class in the Google Meet. I have already taken the attendance. So who have just joined now, you can inform me your roll number, because I've already taken the attendance, so you may miss. Who have just joined now? Yes, Orin.
Sir, will college open?
We don't know. We are actually waiting for the college notification, because the government notification we have received that is college year to be open from the 16th. But just we are waiting for our college information. So by that time, I hope that.
Day is already 8, sir, and
Sorry.
at least they have to inform 1 week ago.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that I don't know what college is going to decide. I don't know, but obviously by that time you should know that what is going to be happening. We are also waiting for the information or notification from the college that what is going to be happening. Okay. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me definitely. Otherwise, you can leave. I hope you have another class after this. If you have any question, you can ask me.